An 8-meter room doesn't sound small, until you're locked inside it for months. I measured it once. 9 steps from wall to wall. I counted them every day. 4 months in county jail gives you too much time to think. I replayed chemical formulas in my head, memorized court schedules, listened to distant footsteps just to feel less alone. And every night I told myself the same thing. I did this to protect my daughter. Whether that was the full truth, I wasn't sure anymore. "Good morning, Mr. Moore," my attorney Victoria said as my cuffs were removed in court. She was sharp, relentless, and exhausted from fighting a judge who clearly didn't like me. The judge didn't care about my company, my money, or my reputation. She cared about one thing only. "Where is your daughter?" I stayed silent. Victoria argued that I already had legal custody. That keeping me locked up was excessive. The judge didn't blink. "Until this court is informed of the child's location, Mr. Moore will remain incarcerated." The gavel hit like a gunshot. As I was led away, Victoria whispered, "She's not backing down. She'll keep you here forever." I looked at her calmly. "Then do your job. Protect my business. Protect my daughter." Back in my cell, I lay staring at the ceiling cracks, wondering how my life collapsed so fast. A year earlier, I was a respected scientist, CEO, husband, and father. Now I was a man refusing to answer one question. Because answering it would destroy everything. And the worst part? The betrayal that put me here didn't come from a stranger. It came from the one person I trusted most. To understand why I chose jail over freedom, you need to know how my marriage actually began. Direct hit if you're enjoying this story so far, make sure to like the video. Before prison, before courtrooms, before betrayal, there was ambition. I built my company from nothing while most people my age were still figuring life out. Long nights in the lab, failed experiments, empty bank accounts. My parents stood by me when no one else would. Then came success, patents, contracts, growth. That's when I met my wife. She was intelligent, kind, and believed in me before the world did. We married young. Signed a prenuptial agreement, at my father's insistence. At the time, it felt unnecessary. Love felt permanent. Our daughter, Linda, changed everything. She became the center of my world. My wife stepped away from work to raise her. I buried myself deeper into the business. On the surface, we looked perfect. But cracks don't announce themselves. They whisper. Charity events replaced quiet dinners. Fundraisers replaced weekends together. That's when he appeared, a wealthy donor, charming, always available. I noticed the glances first. Then the late meetings. Then the names that came up too often. I told myself I was being paranoid. When my mother passed away suddenly, grief swallowed me whole. I shut down emotionally. And during that silence, someone else stepped into the space I left behind. By the time I realized my marriage was slipping, it was already fractured. I asked for one promise, no more contact with him. She agreed. But promises mean nothing when temptation feels justified. The arguments escalated. Trust eroded. And one night, the truth surfaced in a way I couldn't ignore. What followed wasn't just divorce. It was war. And when the marriage ended, the fight for my daughter turned vicious. Pushpin, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want the full story. Divorce isn't about fairness. It's about leverage. Despite evidence, despite history, the court favored shared visitation. I agreed, until my daughter came home one night afraid. She told me things no child should have to explain. I believed her. Her mother didn't. The court didn't. So I made the hardest decision of my life. I sent my daughter away, out of the country, with my father. Safe. Hidden. Protected. The next morning, the judge ordered me to produce her immediately. "I don't know where she is," I said. That sentence bought me prison time. They thought I'd break. They were wrong. From behind bars, I watched my enemy grow arrogant. He thought he'd won. He thought I was powerless. But power doesn't disappear, it waits. While I sat in that cell, my team uncovered truths buried deep inside his empire. Lies. Falsified reports. Crimes with consequences far beyond personal betrayal. The moment he laughed at me in the visitor's room, I knew it was over for him. I didn't touch him. I didn't threaten him. I let the truth do what it always does. And when the truth came out, everything collapsed at once. The headlines hit like an avalanche. Federal investigations. Assets frozen. Criminal charges. The man who thought he won lost everything. His business, his reputation, his freedom. A week later, the judge released me. "Don't appear in my courtroom again," she warned. I didn't plan to. My daughter came home that night. She ran into my arms like she never wanted to let go. That moment made every day in that cell worth it. Life didn't magically fix itself. My ex-wife stayed in the house, for our daughter's sake. We co-parented. We existed under the same roof. But trust never returned. Some things, once broken, don't heal. My business recovered. My reputation followed. Justice, in its own brutal way, arrived. What did I learn? Betrayal doesn't always come from enemies. Sometimes it comes from the person sleeping next to you. And protecting your child may cost you everything, but it's a price worth paying. Because freedom isn't walking out of prison. Freedom is knowing you did the right thing, even when no one believed you. Direct hit subscribe to our channel to get more real stories about betrayal. The next one is even darker.